All right. Upon looking at the reception to my Elden Ring videos, upon studying other YouTubers talking about the game, upon looking into it a little bit, I now know why this game is so worshipped among the gaming community, right? The online gaming community. I know why everybody obsessively calls this one of the best games of the generation and one of the best games ever made, and are desperately trying to fool you into thinking this is like some major deal, some major phenomenon, one of the big gaming successes ever. Like FromSlop, one of the biggest game studios in the industry right now, even though none of that is true, right? Like, I know what is happening. When you talk about Elden Ring, people watch your content. That's all it is. FromSlop has very strong online appeal, which is not the same as mainstream appeal. It has very strong online appeal. It has these dedicated fanboys that will just eat up like whatever slop like Vadi Vidya like just oozes out into like into the YouTube space, right? They'll just make up like complete fan fiction, like ridiculous lore, and then they'll just watch it like endlessly and speculate on the plot of a game that really fundamentally does not have a plot, right? It is disgusting. It is appalling, right? The reason so many YouTubers are so adamant about defending Elden Ring is to preserve this community, this mindset, and this viewer retention, right? Like, it reminds me a lot of how Undertale was treated back in the day, right? Where you had this very basic, very uninspired, derivative, plagiarized IP, right? It stole a lot of assets from other indie games, or a lot of ideas from other indie games. Songs were ripped from a lot of obscure 90s JRPGs, right? Like Undertale was this thing that was just had a similar reception. But now that it's like fallen by the wayside, now that like nobody remembers Toby Fox or the game or the sequel, and that like there's going to be no recovery for it, like there suddenly is no audience for this game. Like the general audience fan base, the general fan base, the audience were people that were primarily interested in the online content, right? Like, they weren't interested in the game. They weren't interested in games in general. They were interested in the streamers, the music artists, the people that would shill Undertale as the greatest thing ever. Like, they weren't interested in Undertale as a game, right? And I am observing similar behaviors in Elden Ring fans, right? They're not talking about the game. They're making videos coming after people who don't like the game. They're making videos like, attacking DSP or Quantum TV or me, right? For like, daring to say that like, this game really isn't very good, right? The visual quality is trash, right? It's glitchy, it's broken, right? It's convoluted and confusing and not all that fun to play. Like, these are real serious issues that the audience desperately likes to pretend are not issues, right? They like to pretend as if the player is at fault for all of his mistakes and for everything that happens in the game. But really, that's observably not true, right? Because I've played games that are harder than this, but are also easier to understand, right? I've played games that have better boss designs and better combat mechanics and better level design, better mechanics, right? Tears of the Kingdom is just one example, right? Why exactly is Elden Ring so much better than all the competition? And when you really compare it to other games out there, you begin to realize that it's not better. It isn't superior to other games. It's not anything special or interesting. Like, everyone's always telling me like, oh, like if you put 100 hours into the game and you find all the areas, you'll see the good content. Like, there is no good content, okay? Like, I've explored quite a bit of the map. I didn't find anything interesting or fun or exciting. I didn't find any good boss fights. I wasn't challenged, right? I simply wasn't having fun. And what exactly is wrong with me coming out and saying that?